y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shamika and this is Check the Rhymes. I am super excited about today's show because joining me I have two of the stars of Perry Sistas, and the show follows a single group of Black females as they navigate their complicated love lives, that sounds familiar, careers, friendships, ups and downs of living in a modern world of social media and unrealistic relationship or couples goals, as y'all like to call it. So joining me today I have KJ Smith, who stars as Andi, and Ebony Obsidian, who plays Karen on the show. And we are going to talk about what we can expect for the second season. I also want to know, what was it like filming in the bubble with Perry? So stay tuned. You don't want to miss today's show. Welcome to Check the Rhymes. I'm super excited about the premiere of Sisters, this season 2. Oh my God. So there was an epic season finale, right? So can you give us any hint, either one of you, as to, well, we'll start with you, KJ. Tell us about what we can expect this season, if you can, like especially for your character.
Okay, well, I know for a fact you guys are going to find out how Andi gets off that road. So you can expect that. And you can also expect to see a lot of change which we're always evolving, right? And the same is going to be true for our characters, you know, Andi, Karen, Danny, Sabrina. We're all evolving and growing and changing, and it's shocking, honestly. Some of our changes are very shocking. I know me, Andi does a full 180 on y'all. What? Now I have this new information. Oh, I have to make a change. She started changing things. So I know people are going to love that. I'm excited to see how people receive that. That's what, I don't know. Because last season everyone was like, he's so dumb. So I'll just wait and see what people say before I say they love it. I'll wait to see what the people say.
Okay, I'm going to come back to the dumb comment because I have some questions from some Twitter folks. So I'm going to come back to that comment. Yeah.
I knew it. Oh, so you set yourself up, sis. I did. Dang.
How about you, Ebony?
We can expect Karen to kind of be going through a lot of the effects of the first season, right? I think the first season was very traumatic, no matter how you slice it. And Karen is a very stern person. She stands in her truth. But she is human, you know. She is affected by the things that go on around her. And I think at this point she's really just trying to gain control of her life, of the direction that things are going, of the people around her. And that will definitely manifest in a lot of very different ways.
Ooh, that seems like a lot of us that are dealing right now kind of with trying to change and deal with, you know, just that same energy that Karen's going through. It seems like a lot of people are dealing with that same thing. So with the height of the pandemic, you know, or part of it, back when you guys started shooting season 2, how was that being in the bubble with Perry shooting? You know, were you guys nervous? Were you scared? Like, oh my gosh, we're doing this and COVID is still running rampant in the streets. Like, tell me how it was working in the bubble. I'll start with you, Ebony.
You know what I'll say, and KJ, you will probably agree that I've been so serious about this. Like, yes. I'm a huge germaphobe in general, so this pandemic has really just affected my daily life and how I move around and function and things. And so with that said, going into season 2 of Sisters with this pandemic in place and knowing everything that we were going to have to do, I was actually very, very happy because the plan was so in depth and it was executed every single day in front of my eyes that I was always, you know, just reaffirmed, this is what we're doing, this is how it's going. We were tested every 4 days. We were always wearing masks, like until a second before we were actually filming in front of a camera. There was always hand sanitizer, hand washing stations. It was everywhere for me. Okay. So I was really honestly put a lot at ease. I think there were aspects of it that were stressful, just the idea of being around a lot of people and knowing that, you know, you're also responsible for helping to keep other people safe. That was a little bit of a stressor, but I think all in all for me, the experience was actually really, really great. And I wish they were still there.
See, I wondered, because I'm a germaphobe too, so I know if Tyler would have been like, girl, if you'll get out of here with this, because I would have been washing my hands every 2 seconds and spraying people with Lysol.
Right.
How about you, KJ?
I had fun in the bubble. Because I used it as, I was also stressed. Don't get me wrong. I was really stressed. But I will say that the stress definitely came from me just trying to make sure I don't harm anyone else. I'm like, I don't want to affect anyone negatively. People have kids at home. They got, elder, parents or loved ones. And I'm like, I go home to my home by myself. So you know what I mean? I still care, but it's like, it's a different type. It's levels to it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But on the other end, I just tried to have the time of my life. Everybody can tell you, like, after we got on set, I was like, where y'all at? I was ready to party after every night because I don't get
we hadn't seen people
with my cast. We
hadn't been for months.
Yes, we have been locked in our homes for months. And even last season, we didn't even get to hang. We would have to coordinate a schedule, and we would have to go do one thing on Saturday night, and it would be for 2 hours, and then we got to go home, and we never really hung out without the element of having to just work. You know what I mean? That was the only thing between scenes. And so the fact that it's like I actually enjoy and love the people I work with. Like, I like them in addition to work with them. So, every night I was like, hey, let's do something.
And there was the food trucks, and there was movies on the lawn, so there were things to do,
We had all kinds of stuff going on. It was fantastic. And we all wore masks still. Even when we were having a good time, we still wore masks. And we just got to know each other, which honestly, it made our bond stronger on set. It made our bond stronger as a unit, as a cast and a crew, because we don't get a chance to talk to the gaffers and the light, the lighting and the sound department and the cinematographers and the producers and the PAs. We don't get to hang out with everybody. We get to only hang out with actors. So it was a full experience where we were a community and we protected each other and we did a thing, and it was so dope.
It was much more intimate. Yeah, agreed.
So I have some Twitter questions for you guys, and I'm gonna start with I'll start with you, Ebony. Someone wanted to know. Well, this is kind of it's a general question, but they wanted to know how you feel about that Tyler Perry is writing the script and that there's not like a women in the writer's room for a show called Sisters, and they wondered if you have input on your storyline to kind of say, wait, hey Tyler, sisters don't act like this, they act like this, or do you have any of that input?
Absolutely. Here's the thing. I totally understand where that question comes from. The thing is, these stories are based off of women that Tyler Perry knows. These stories are very, very intimate to them in their lives. And so I think when he is, at the head of directing, producing, and writing a show, Sisters and Beyond, he has so many shows that he does this for, we always have to keep in mind that he writes, even the character Medea is very much so based on very real people. And so it isn't coming from not observing and not, being very diligent in that fact and asking questions and asking for input. For me, I can say I absolutely have so much input. By the time that we get to set, he's like, okay, what are you doing? And even this season 2 as well, maybe I'll point it out when the episode comes out, but I actually wrote a scene for this season. And it was literally, the scene was written and it was like, hey, I think actually it makes more sense if this were to happen this way. And he was like, great, let me see what it looks like. This is not a dictatorship in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it's like the script is a guideline. We go off script all the time as well. And so there just is so much freedom to bring these women to life as a woman ourselves, Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, because I don't think people understand that it's not like, okay, this is the script, it's written in stone and you can't change any of it. I think that's kind of the thought that they have. So thank you for clearing that up, because I see this question a lot about different shows, and I'm like, y'all, calm down.
Yeah, but Tyler's so unconventional, and it's hard to grasp because everything is so unconventional with Tyler. We talk about this all the time. He's a maverick. So, when people think of him, they're trying to put him in this box, and they're trying to compare him to other creators, and he's just not that. So you can't compare apples to oranges. He's a totally different. He's a whole buffet out here. So
exactly.
So you just can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, KJ, your turn.
So about that topic?
No, you get your own question from Twitter. So somebody says, did Andi really literally have to walk home, and why is she so dumb? Why did she make these choices?
Let me tell you, I'm going to tell y'all this, and call KJ dumb, because listen, I have made some dumb decisions.
We all have.
I think if women were really real, like when I sit and I talk to some women, I'm like, have you never done this, XYZ? And they're like, I have. And I'm like, so why are you playing me? Why are you trying to act like you never put yourself in a position, to be, taken advantage of or used or fall back for this guy who says he loves you and he's toxic, So I really feel like, if Andi's dumb, there's a lot of us out here who are walking around dumb because we've all made decisions. It's just love lessons. Yep. That's what Andi's going through. She's going through a love lesson. And I've gone through it before. 6 years, you put in work and you try to make something work and it just doesn't, because things are not supposed to work that way. So I don't feel like Andi's dumb. I feel like she's showing the world what women really do out here. And
it's just a reflection.
And don't want to admit that they do out here.
Exactly.
But also,
you know what I'm saying?
It's a big compliment when people, I know it sounds kind of weird, but I feel like whenever people are so passionate about any which way about a character that we played, it's such a huge compliment, because when they say, Andi, why would you do this? It's because they know better, because they probably have been through it, or they know someone who has, and they know that you deserve better. So it's still coming from a good place. That's how I like to look at it anyways.
Yeah.
No, I don't all the time, sis. I got you.
It doesn't even bother me. I just think it's funny because when I do one-on-ones, I'm like, okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It really doesn't. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. And I can admit, too, I'm very, I try to be as transparent as possible so that people don't think, it's just not, Susie Homemaker perfect out here, and that people could feel okay with the mistakes that they've made in life. And I am living a mistake on television. I am doing that so that people can see themselves in me and hopefully stop doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or avoid it. Yeah.
That too, yes. Well, I have enjoyed chatting with you ladies. It has been a blast this morning talking to you.
Thank you so much. It's been so much fun.
Absolutely. So we will be tuning in tonight for the season premiere of Sistas on BET at 9:00. And we're going to see what Karen and Andi is up to. So thank you both for joining me on Check the Rhymes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.